Pokemon cards is a physical stock market.
Man, that
and I
is
hated that
true as
description.
fuck, dude. It's
Like,
true as fuck.
as accurate as it is, I hate that, man.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome to the Pixel Primos Video Game Podcast, the show where we talk about all the latest things in gaming, from hitting the gritty to staring at VTuber titties. Hey, I'm Fun Solo.
Amen to VTubers and tits.
Yes, amen to that.
Amen. And I am I am JJ, not Paco.
And I am
That's
Paco.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I'll be sure the name tags when they pop up.
We should have put the names
Have
up just in case
everyone's
anybody gets
name.
confused.
Yeah,
Because
just
we all look the same, apparently.
yeah.
We should look into getting VTuber models of ourselves.
Right?
Yeah, I would make myself really hot.
It's funny
I
you
would
should say
I'd
that.
make myself like a 1930s cartoon, but there's already a girl that does that, and she's cool.
The one
Oh,
that looks like Betty
Pumpkin?
Boop?
Yeah, Pumpkin. Yeah.
That's her name? I've seen her before.
Yeah, no, she's funny. Yeah, she's great. But yeah, no, it's like funny you should say that. Everyone always makes like these hot, like sexy ones. I'm gonna be the first VTuber that makes like a ugly like character.
Your VTuber should just be the guy from South Park, the neckbeard, the WoW player. That should be that should be your...
Or maybe not ugly, but just basic.
Just the most basic.
Yeah.
You should be
Kind of like
normal SpongeBob. Hi, how are you?
yeah, there you go. Something like that. I'll be the what Larian Studios, the guys that did Baldur's Gate 3. They got all the data from all the players, and they ran a script that got the most popular character created stuff, and then they ran it to see like what's the character it made. And when it popped up, it was like a generic white guy, and they're like, wait, hold on, I think we ran the script wrong, let's double check. And they're like, no, everything's right. Okay, we'll run it again. And then they run it, and it comes back to a basic white guy, and they're like, you motherfuckers, we gave you all elves, dwarves, orcs, and you motherfuckers made humans.
The majority of people always go to like the basic, like, because even with Mass Effect, that was a thing where it's like, the majority of people just play like default male shepherd, and
that's what I did.
100% Paragon. There's,
I mean, the thing with Mass Effect is that, I mean, customization wise, it didn't have much going.
It had enough for me to make Bruce Willis.
True, but even then, you were still limited.
2 Shep was Bruce Willis. Oh man, I fell into that trap. I became generic white guy.
You did. You're the generic white guy. Yeah. I mean, if I were a VTuber, I don't know. I think I wouldn't think I'd even make myself into like any regular anime character like most people have. I'd probably just do like a random animal, like a bear or like a dog.
Oh, then
maybe a raccoon. That would just be my avatar. Would just be like some animal. I feel like that would just be like, probably a bear, maybe, or maybe an anthropomorphic tiger.
Has Matt McMuscles copyrighted his skeleton face? I can.
He might have.
I'll just VTube Matt McMuscles.
My avatar would be a bear with Sting's face paint. That would be my avatar.
Well, I can tell you that Sting 100% did trademark his face.
Damn it!
Yeah, the face paint. Yeah,
I found out because of Danhausen, because Danhausen was like the first one that like trademarked it, and then once word got around like within the wrestling community that Danhausen trademarked his face, Sting was like, "Hey, wait a minute."
Maybe I'd wear like a generic. I'd be a bear, but with like a generic wrestler's mask to hide my identity.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I could just be a luchador.
Yeah, I mean, you can
Yeah.
just go lucha. I mean, but there's a lot of people that do that right now. I've noticed there's a lot of like creators that are just wearing the luchador mask now.
Really?
Yeah,
Damn.
well,
So,
I mean, I follow
do
like
any of them do
two
OnlyFans?
of
Because
them.
that was my idea. Like,
I don't know actually. I don't know. One of
date
them
me
I
an
know
OnlyFans model, and then like every time she needs to make a video, I just show up in the luchador mask,
Mm.
I don't
so
know
that way
like
no
the
one can tell it's me and my weird shaped dick.
you put a little mask on the dick. Um,
Well, I'm not circumcised, so it's already got a mask.
there you go. There you go. See, there you go. No, I don't like one of them that I follow. He's like a foodie reviewer in San Antonio.
Mm,
He wears a lucha mask whenever he does any of his food reviews. When you see him going into the restaurants, and the other one, he just gives ratings on mangas to like manga suggestions and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Is what he does. Those I think are the only two that I follow, and then I sometimes catch other creators just donning the luchador mask and stuff like that. Like so I mean, I feel like it's
No.
something that's getting out there a
It
little bit more.
a
all right,
little,
then.
because there's also he's a Mexican content creator. I think his name's Escorpion Dorado or something like that.
I feel like I
And
like sounds
and
familiar.
yeah, no, if you, I'm sure if I show you a clip, you're gonna be like, oh, that
Yeah,
guy,
I'm pretty
that
sure
he
I would
wears a
too.
blue like luchador mask. So
Okay.
like no, it's a thing. People have like done it. I think the trick is to just either get like a custom
Uh huh.
mask, that way
Yeah.
it is you,
I
Yeah,
mean,
or
I'll just cross the border.
do a
I'll
mil
just.
máscaras and just
Yeah.
wear a different mask every.
every
I
street.
I would I would just cross the border here and just go buy a random mask. You know
Right.
what? That's what we're gonna do when we start streaming. It's we're all gonna have a mask on, and then anytime one of us gets a kill, we just go and pile drive somebody. Or you got to get RK. If you die, you get RKO'd. Like fuck, you got to go
Right.
to the ring, get RKO'd. Um,
Yeah,
Oh
that's a
man, I'm
good
gonna get
idea.
RKO'd a bunch.
Right.
hey, I don't think more than me. I'm a shitty. My friends get pissed off at me because I cannot bring us a single dub in Warzone. I tell them all the time,
It's
like, dude, you can't get dubs without me. I'm your X Factor. They're like, you fucking liar. You fucking suck. It's like, no, I don't. And then you see my KD ratio at like 0.0009. So I'm like, numbers don't mean
Yeah,
anything.
I I love playing Spider-Man in Rivals, but
Hmm.
but if there is a Moon Knight, a Winter Soldier, a Scarlet Witch, or a Cloak and Dagger on the other team, or any combination of those four, I'm getting like
Mhm.
no kills. Well, like three of them don't have to fucking aim like I do.
True.
It's Moon Knight random shit go.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Moon Knight's his ankhs will like bounce whatever bullshit he throws, like his
Hmm.
moonarangs or
Mhm.
whatever the fuck. They'll
Moonerang.
bounce them so that they turn corners and they fucking hit you.
Fucking getting ricochet kills out of nowhere, like pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
He's not even
Cloak.
aiming in my direction.
No, yeah, no. I'll literally be behind a wall and he'll drop a fucking ankh that I don't see until it's too late,
Oh no.
and
Mhm.
just murders me. And Scarlet Witch just straight up doesn't aim. She auto locks onto whoever's closest. Same
Oh, that
with Cloak
fucking
and
hurt.
Dagger.
Mhm. Mhm.
And Winter Soldier is just like Spider Man's hard counter. He can do a lot of the same shit Spider Man does, only he's got a
Hmm.
gun, so he kind of wins.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's nuts.
Mhm.
You need to hurry
Mhm.
up and play.
Well, so Jay's been playing Marvel Rivals. Then what about you, Puck? What have you been playing?
Oh, I just Game Pass the newest release on game, one of the newest releases anyways. Jedi Survivor is what I started playing.
Oh, it's on
Oh,
Game Pass now.
okay.
It's on Game Pass now, yeah. So I was like, well, time to download. So
I
I'm playing
I,
Jedi Survivor.
Mm.
I did like wait, yeah. What's the first one?
Uh
Uh, Jedi,
Fallen Order?
Fallen
Fallen
Order.
Order. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Fallen Order,
liked
yeah,
Fallen
Fallen Order.
Order.
Yeah, Fallen
Um,
Order is
Mm.
fun. I just used to like, throwing stormtroopers off fucking cliffs and shit. That shit was a lot of
yeah,
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just started playing Jedi Survivor and Sniper Elite Resistance. That's another
Oh,
one
that's
that's on
on
there.
there. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's just Sniper
Elite's good.
Elite, just with a different character. Is all.
Oh, it's a different guy this time.
Yeah, it's a different guy. His name is Hawker. I was like, y'all did not do any kind of effort into that name. Just Hawker. He looks
Days
homeless.
British.
I was like, but I mean, I like Sniper Elite just because I love the stealth aspect of it, and
Yeah, no, it's
I've gotten a lot better at it.
I told
What do we have a
Lily, I'm
sniper
like,
girl
I'll
at?
download it, but I told her like, you want to kill Nazis with me, and she's like,
Killing Nazis.
okay, like
I feel like what is it? Creature Commandos.
GI Robot.
GI Robot
GI
is like
Robot.
foreshadowing. He's foreshadowing. That came in at the right time. Like he's just foreshadowing. There's somebody out there who's like, every time somebody says something, he just does the little eye squint that GI Robot does.
Yeah,
Killing Nazis.
that's just what a Nazi would say.
Just making all kinds of excuses.
It's beautiful, isn't it? I do not enjoy views that are devoid of dead Nazis,
Dead
Miss
Nazis.
oh man, he's great. That show's great. I never finished that show, man.
Yeah,
good.
Phosphorus is great. And so is GI Robot.
So I've been playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I'm being dead serious about that.
Okay.
I bought
You told me you were playing World of Warcraft, you fucking nerd.
That's a South Park reference for those that didn't get it.
Weeb nerd.
Yeah, I bought 2 copies, one for my wife and one for me. And honestly, it's not bad. It's I would describe it as like a watered down Animal Crossing.
Animal
But
Crossing is cool.
yeah, and this game is cool too. It's not perfect. There's a few little nitpicks I got, but I don't know. Maybe I can later. I can do a full blown deep dive into Hello Kitty.
Deep diving into Hello Kitty.
Right.
I feel like that's the beginning of a porn name.
Deep
Deep dive Hello Kitty.
No, I mean, you could just leave the hell out.
Yeah,
So we saw the
No.
deep dive into my kitty.
Hello, deep dive
Oh
kitty.
no. Oh no. All right, let's jump into our main topic before we go off on
Another tangent.
Actually, wait. Hold on. We gotta just one more thing. To the alphas. This episode is actually pre-recorded. Um, just thought we'd be upfront about it.
Like more so than the other ones. Like
yes, I guess yeah. To explain a little behind the scenes, typically we record these on Monday, and then we edit them throughout the week so that they can be uploaded by Friday. However, I am going to be out of town for work. And I'm gonna be going out a lot in these next coming weeks, so I'm gonna be really busy dealing with all this shit at work right now. So, for the sake of still being able to upload content, uh, we're gonna pre-record some episodes for the time being. Not all of them are pre-recorded, by the way. The giveaway will probably be if I read comments. Mm-hmm. That'll be the giveaway if it's pre-recorded or not. But either way, I think I'll just disclose if it's pre-recorded beforehand. But yeah, just a heads up, some of these episodes in February and most of March are most likely going to be pre-recorded. But again, we'll give you guys the heads up just so you all know. But yeah, so full disclosure. So now that we got that, let's jump into our main topic. We're going to talk about Pokemon card collecting, and I feel, Paco, since you are our resident card collector, maybe you could kick off this topic.
Man, Pokemon right now, TCG is fucking wild. Yeah, no, it's just really the state of Pokemon right now that I have missed out because I just recently started collecting. I've been collecting about a year again.
Yeah.
And I missed out on a bunch of sets in the past because I started collecting in like 95, 96 when they first came out. and I didn't know what the fuck I was collecting. I was like, oh, cool, Pokemon cards. I was a fucking loser in high school. People took away my cards, and I got pissed. I was
Yeah.
and then I got older, just kind of just stopped collecting because I just didn't go by. I didn't make the effort, and I stopped collecting. My cards that I had some. Now they're considered like really rare, valuable cards. I don't know where the fuck they are. I gave them to my little cousin, and they're fucking gone. I'm pretty sure she probably either threw them away or maybe somebody she knew saw them, and she was like, "Yeah, you can have them." Who knows? I have no idea what happened to them. And I started collecting recently, and I started learning about like all these different sets, all these like rare cards, not realizing it. That card is how much? Are you fucking shitting me? And now with this latest set, Prismatic Evolutions, which has got like all the EVs super hyped up, now having to deal with scammers, scalpers, all these other things, and how, like, I mean, I'm sure y'all have seen it, the Costco fights over
Yes.
Pokemon cards. Like, I'm just a casual collector.
Sir, please.
I'll maybe once a month go
My
by,
bougie ass does not go to Costco. I go to Sam's Club.
I'm sure there are fights there too. I'm sure there are
the
fights
Walmart.
there too.
The Walmart Costco's. Like, literally.
They just weren't uploaded to the internet.
I'm pretty sure, they probably weren't uploaded to the internet.
I mean, there was a fight last time I went, but that was over Girl Scout cookies.
Hey, that's a legit fight too. Legit fight. I will fight a bitch over some Thin Mints.
I came back. I came back to the apartment because this was over the weekend
all
of
bloodied up.
the Royal Rumble. No, the Royal Rumble just happened this past Saturday, so I went out to Sam's Club to buy my groceries for the month, pretty much. And I was like, you know what? We're gonna watch the Rumble. I'm gonna get the pizza from Sam's Club is actually pretty decent. So I'm gonna get two of those pizzas.
No, it's not bad.
It's cheap. Yeah, it's pretty good. Get two of those pizzas, and I'm gonna take some sweets too. I'll buy a pack of the cookies that they make there at Sam's Club. They're also pretty good. The chocolate chip ones, or the chocolate chunk, the big pieces of chocolate. So I bought that along with like my regular groceries, and as I'm walking out, this hot single mom offers me Girl Scout cookies. I don't know if she's single. Just in my head canon, she is. And so, and so I was like, "Yes, give me 3 boxes of what? I don't know what you got. Like
whatever. You offered cookies, I'll buy.
I can't say no to MILF and cookies. I'm a simple man. I'm sorry, that was a long setup just for that.
It was worth it. It was worth it.
I did legit buy Girl Scout cookies though.
No. So you see all these fights over all these different sets. And now there's all these people on the internet blaming Pokemon, blaming the Pokemon YouTubers, the guys that rip and ship, and the guys on TikTok and all that stuff. And one of the biggest issues right now is really local game stores. So because Pokemon really hasn't printed enough, the allocations for the distributors have to give to certain people are way less than what they expected. And so what's happening is a lot of these local game store owners are going to like Target, going to Walmart, going to anywhere else they can buy what's out, and then resell it for a markup. Usually like an Elite Trainer box is about like $40-$50. That's like what MSRP is. They're selling this particular set right now for $150-$200, like out the door. That's what they're selling for. The packs that are normally like $4.99, $5 for a single Pokemon pack is $10, $15, $20. So now nobody has access to this. And then the next set that's coming out is Journey Together. And the next set after that is Team Rocket. So these 3 sets right now that are about to come out, there's no supply. None whatsoever. Everything's already being allocated. And now, everybody's complaining about this, about that. And it's like the prices are this. And it's kind of like, well, you're going to just kind of have to stop buying. And even now, like I can only buy a certain amount. Like, and then you get on TikTok and you see these guys that are ripping shippers, they just have their lives on TikTok or whatnot. And they, rip packs open. You're in their live. You pay like hey, you pay $14, $15, they rip the packs open, and then they just send you whatever, oh, hey, you got this, you got that. And then that's another problem because they're having people, these ripper shippers, that get caught scamming. Like, you can see
Yeah.
in the background that there's a really expensive card, and then they go off screen for some reason. They come back and like, oh, you didn't get the card. That's cool, but here, I'm going to throw this in there, scamming the shit out of people.
Yeah.
So, and this hobby has now just turned into this unrecognizable just money grab now. And even the American market has now affected the Japanese market, the Korean market, and the Chinese market. So like now a lot of there's a few subtle differences between the Japanese sets and um the US sets. A lot of people like the Japanese sets better because they're like better quality and all this other stuff. Korean is starting to make a comeback. These Korean sets that people get are the Chinese ones are the ones that I think are funny because they kind of do their own thing. Like if you go look up like Chinese Pokemon cards, they have like their own boxes and their own little things that they do, and they're actually really nice. Like I'm
Oh,
not
cool.
gonna lie, some of them are like, oh dang, like that's a Chinese card. That's really fun. They have like their own special cards and stuff like that people are starting to collect. So now that the Japanese and the Koreans are seeing and the Chinese are seeing that like, oh, people are willing to pay $150, $200 for this box, or they're willing to pay $20 for just one pack. Now they're raising their prices, and then, yeah, it's not as ridiculous as like $200, but they're like, well, shit. Now that this box was like $60, I'm gonna sell it for 80, or yeah, I might sell it for 100, and people are now going to buy. So now the effects that we've had is now starting to affect the rest of the
So,
markets.
yeah, cross borders.
Yeah,
That's
across all borders.
That's interesting because, like, I'm not a big collector. I got those from Happy Meals, those Pokemon cards that I had earlier.
Yeah. Even those
Um,
are like those. Some people are selling that Pikachu for $8.
Bro, the first time I went to McDonald's, like when you told me like, oh, they're giving Pokemon cards, I was like, I'll buy a Happy Meal. Like it's $4.
Yeah.
I went to McDonald's. They didn't even give me fucking Pokemon cards. They gave me like whatever the last toy was. I think I got a
The Sonic
Tails.
toy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
Sonic
got
toy.
a, I got a Tails. Which it's fine. Like I didn't bitch or complain about it. But the next time I ordered, yeah, you better get my fucking Pokemon
Better
cards.
get my goddamn Pokemon cards.
um, but I do watch like Magic the Gathering content from time to time. Just
Uh-huh.
like I like to have that playing in the background, and I've always found Magic interesting. Just like I could never get into it because there wasn't really a community for it back home in Eagle Pass. But at least when I was growing up, there was
Yeah.
like a handful of dudes, but they were all assholes to me. So fuck them.
There still really isn't even that much of a community of that
not for
here.
Magic, yeah.
No.
Um, but Magic. So I know like some of the issues that Magic the Gathering has had. For example, one of the big things that I'm pretty sure every like content creator involved in Magic has mentioned and complained about at least once is Wizards of the Coast doesn't do MSRP anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They do market price
So
now?
yeah, like they just I mean they'll sell it to, game stores or whatever for their fixed amount, and then it's up to the game store to decide, well, what are you going to sell it for?
How much to
Like
sell it for? Yep.
there's no MSRP, so like the consumers don't have, the customers don't actually have a frame of reference to be like,
Yeah.
I'm being overcharged or I'm being undercharged or this is a deal. Like there's no way to tell anymore if
Yeah.
there's no MSRP. Also, they've been doing a lot of they've
Like
always done
collabs,
these
right?
things. Yeah, they've always done like these things they call secret layers, and those are usually the collab ones.
Mm-hmm.
um, but back then, they were made to order. So if you pre-ordered your secret layer, you
Mm-hmm.
were pretty much guaranteed it. Like they were going to print it to you specifically for the people that ordered, and then that's it. They move on, right? Like
Yep.
pre-orders close after a while, and that's it. They're not doing that anymore. Now they're only printing a fixed limited amount, So if there's a particular, collab that you really like a bunch of people I think missed out on the Doctor Who one. That was a big one
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
there's a bunch of Doctor Who fans, and now he's going to be in Magic. So all of them, because all of the Doctors got a card.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
cool.
yeah, it wasn't just like David Tennant, or I think it was I forget the Goyle Doctor's name.
I remember
The
her name.
actress. Yeah, I don't remember her name, but I think she was the doctor at the time. It wasn't just
Mm-hmm.
her. It wasn't just like what is she, 12, 13, 12? I think 12.
Yeah, I think it's
Uh,
12th Doctor.
but they had all
No,
of them. Matt
13th, I
Smith,
think, isn't she?
13th? She might be 13th. Yeah, because Peter Capaldi. Forgot about him.
Yeah.
He's
Mm-hmm.
after Matt Smith. Matt
Yeah.
Smith is 11.
Mm-hmm.
Capaldi's 12. Yeah, she
Capaldi's
would be
12.
13.
She's
And then
13.
Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My only frame of reference is David Tennant. I know he's 10, and he's the best one.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, but yeah, a lot of people missed out on those. They're gonna have Spider Man, so I really want one, but I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
like fight through those fucking pre-order
Yeah.
lines to just so I
Mm-hmm.
could get me a shiny Spider Man card.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see how the Pokemon Company handles it because
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wizards of the
that's what.
Coast hasn't been handling it the best, and
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting because originally Wizards of the Coast had the Pokemon license. Like the first edition cards here in the US were from Wizards of the Coast.
Wizards of the
Mhm.
Coast.
Yeah.
I
And
think
then
I think what
eventually
Pokemon is,
Pokemon had enough
yeah,
money to just like, we'll make them
do
ourselves.
it on their own.
Yeah.
I think what
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon is doing is Pokemon just has to print more. Like the first run is the ETBs and the packs, and there's a few products to release. There's still more products for this particular set, and there was just this the hype around this set was just super high, so everybody was buying as much as they could whenever they could, and then people get mad and are mind boggled because, like I said, you see these guys on YouTube, like these, not YouTube, but like TikTok, you see these guys that are just rip shippers and they have like 500, 600 boxes in their home, whereas like
Mm-hmm.
the game stores and other places only got like 100 or only got 200.
Yeah.
Shit, even here in town they only got so many, and Del Rio only got so many. I literally went, I told my coworker, I was like, hey man, I got an emergency, like I'm gonna be gone for like 20 minutes because the store is literally like a block away from my job. And they're like, "You cool with that?" They're like, "Yeah, I don't care." And I went, and I still, they opened at 3 o'clock. I got there a little bit before 3. There was a line, and I only got to grab like 2 things. That was it, and it wasn't something that I was really into. I was like, well, it's something. I'll take it. And I haven't been able to buy anything. Any of the stores in town completely sold out. Can't find nothing. I went to San Antonio, couldn't find nothing. Went to Del Rio, couldn't find. Went to Uvalde. I just literally drove around to different the all the surrounding areas to see it. Like it was my day off. I was like, you know what? I'll just go see what I can find, and I couldn't find anything at all anywhere. And then I get on TikTok to scroll through, and I see all these people with like ripping 200, 300 packs. I'm like, how? How are you getting a hold of this stuff? And
Mm-hmm.
now, because of that, and now all the hype for the next 2 sets are really hyped up. I've just come to the realization that, you know what, maybe this year I'm going to end up missing out on, even though I really want some of this stuff, I'm just going to end up missing out because there's just not enough product to go around for everybody. Like Pokemon, I guess, is just kind of cut back on their printing for whatever reason. Could be like, creating supply and demand, which there's plenty of demand. You don't have to like do some
Mm-hmm.
shady shit. There's plenty of demand. So now, and again, there's still more products that are going to be released and stuff like that. Maybe I'll get a chance to grab a handful. Who knows how it's going to
Mm-hmm.
continue? And then also the scammers and the scalpers. Like I don't buy anything online. I don't go online and I don't order any single cards. I don't order any boxes or anything online because even like the professional or the YouTubers that have a big name, they're getting scammed, and they're the ones that you wouldn't think that would get scammed. Like they know way more about it than I do. They know what to look for. It's like, oh hey man, if this kind of wrapping is on this particular thing, then it's been resealed, or you see a lot of these stories. I mean, Logan Paul got ripped off.
Yeah.
He bought like however millions of dollars. I mean, I'm not a fan of him, but like it's like, damn, dude, even he got ripped off. So all these people are getting ripped off. So now it's making the hobby not even fun anymore. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and so we'll see what happens next. I mean, more fights. Are they going to release more
Yeah,
products?
the description I heard for Pokemon cards right now is that Pokemon cards is a physical stock market.
Man, that
And I
is
hated that
true as
description.
fuck, dude. It's
Like,
true as fuck.
as accurate as it is, I hate that, man.
Yeah. And I mean, it's the
It,
other people. Like, I don't want to gatekeep or anything like that, because some of the
mhm.
people
Yeah,
that
no, that's
it's the finance bros. It's like the people that look at this as like, oh man, I'm gonna go buy like all these Pokemon cards and I'm gonna invest. I'm like,
I'm gonna flip them and make
oh,
double my
they're
money
gonna
back
flip
in
them
these.
and make
Yeah,
double the money, and it's like, come on,
that's
man.
that's another thing that one of the Magic channels that I watch. I think it's the biggest one, Talarian Community College. He would he still does from time to time the booster box game where he
Mm-hmm.
just buys
Mhm.
like a booster box of whatever set, right? Like
Yeah,
Okay.
usually the newest set. And he's like, we're just gonna sit here, open all the packs, and whatever cards we get, like however much they're worth, if it's enough to buy another booster box, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna sell the cards and
mm-hmm.
just get another booster box. Um, I mean, it's ultimately just like a opening video with like
Mm.
stock
Yeah,
music playing in the background, so he
yeah,
doesn't get
honestly, yeah,
copyrighted. But what I do like about his presentation is that he always says that, like, look, this isn't supposed to be an investment. This is like, if you want to look at it that
Mhm.
way, cool,
yeah,
but like, don't go into, don't get into this and immediately, shell out the $300 or whatever, like these booster boxes are costing now,
yeah,
expecting to mm, get that
Get
three
that
hundred
money back.
dollars back
Mhm.
in
yeah.
cards. It's not going to happen probably. Um, but if you like opening booster packs, yeah, have at it. Like, I'm not gonna stop you from buying it. Like, but
Yeah,
just
Mhm.
don't go into this thinking that it's an investment.
I feel like that's just what a lot of people are doing with Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
They're
The,
going into it as an investment, and it sucks because the poor, like, I don't know much about pull rates. I'm recently learned like the pull rate, what pull rates are, and the pull rates for like all these sets is absolute butt cheeks. Like,
No, yeah,
somebody
the
did the math and they said to get like the which right now in this set everybody wants the Eevees, the Umbreons, the Sylveons, and all that. Like, you have, like somebody said, like you have to open about 2,000 packs to be able to even maybe pull that particular card that you want. Like, they're doing I
mhm.
mean, yeah, they're going out and they're buying all this stuff, and it sucks because, like, well, they have the ability to buy all that. They do all the math, and it's like, dude, the pull rates for this is absolutely abysmal. And then the other thing that's happened is there was a guy, I believe there's a printing facility in Dallas, and an employee from the printing facility stole $1 million worth of cards from like the conveyor belt. Basically, the reason, you want to know how he got caught?
how
He went to take all the cards, and I mean all of them, to one local game store to sell them. There's even a picture of, like, it's like the one that's the one of the cards that's super valuable is this Moonbreon from the Evolving Skies set that right now I think is like $1,500. That card,
Jesus.
I think ungraded, is about like $1,000, and I think graded, if it's a PSA 10, is like double that, I think. But it's ridiculous. He's got like stacks of those on the counter. He's got stacks of these other cards like Rayquazas, that those are like $800 for just that one card, and he took them all to one store and tried to sell them. It's like, dude, you have like 100 of those
I think you would have
Moonbreon
had
cards.
better luck and looked less
like,
suspicious trying to sell him cocaine, dog.
Yeah,
right.
like you could have sold them drugs, and they would have been like, "All right, hey, look, man, you can either have this brick of cocaine or you can have this
Uh-huh.
Moonbreon." And ironically, that Moonbreon is worth more than that brick of cocaine.
Yeah.
This 8 ball, this Pokemon card, never thought you'd say that, huh? Like, hey, man, these pile of 8 balls right here is still not worth as much as this one
Mhm.
Pokemon card. Now, imagine somebody going to go buy some dope, and they're like, "Hey, look, man, I ain't got no money, but I got
That's
this
like
Moonbreon.
Mhm.
I got this Moonbreon. $1,000. How much can I get for this?"
up
Yeah.
until the
So,
end. I thought that this was gonna go the route of like that McDonald's Monopoly scam.
uh huh.
Yeah. That they
That,
like he fixed it so that his
Yeah.
family would win or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, he the guy that was in charge of the security of the game pieces
Yeah.
ended up stealing them.
Mhm.
But like he didn't get caught, really. I mean,
No,
I think he died by the time
they
everything
were on to
was
him.
figured out.
Oh.
Yeah,
Mhm.
or maybe like he did a little bit of time, but like it was he didn't live much longer after that.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, people can fact check me on that story, but yeah, that's the story. Like, there's a picture of it. That game store contacted Pokemon is like, hey, y'all might want to check your shit right now because we have about 1,000 of these cards in our store right now, dude. I believe the dude got arrested. Uh,
Mhm.
Nobody knows what happened to those cards. I think they said that the Pokemon just destroyed them, didn't put them back into
Mhm.
circulation or anything. They just destroyed them,
Mhm.
which I feel like is sucks. It's like, but
Yeah.
whatever, they Pokemon did what they did, and so now it's people don't want to. People are like, oh, I don't want. I'm not going to blame scammers. I'm not going to play local game stores. Like, these are businesses. They're trying to make their money and blah blah blah. It's
Mhm.
like, yeah, but still, it's kind of shitty. It's kind of
It,
like starting to happen, like what happened with like in sneaker culture, where
Yeah.
people are trying to
mhm.
scam you for shoes and stuff. And even now, I've heard that like when it comes to like some sneakers, the fakes are so good that sometimes people can't even tell whether it's a fake or not. They're like,
Mhm.
oh, that hey man, this looks legit.
Okay, now that you mentioned fakes, you know what's the thing that shocked me? There's fake merch of Stanley cups. I
Oh yeah.
didn't know there's like fake Stanley, but it's like I know some people are thinking like, well, dude, it's because Stanley's are red. Dude, I don't. It's a fucking cup. To
Yeah.
me, it's the equivalent of telling me there someone made a fake red solo cup. What do you mean someone made
What do
a
you mean?
fake solo cup? It's a cup. Who
It's a
gives a
cup.
shit? And so yeah, to me the like there's bootleg Stanley cups like it
It's a
didn't
cup.
compute. I'm like what like what like
Hey, there's
what's
bootleg
so
Pokemon cards out there, so
yeah, but Pokemon, I get it because I'm in
uh,
the fandom and you can
yeah,
sell a card to make real money. I get
yeah,
that. There's a train of thought there that makes sense. The
uh,
Stanley one completely like it's a cup. What's
yeah.
so special about it? What's so rare about it? It's and I guess it's there's a specific color of
Fucking
these
hell! This is the
cups
one time I
that
don't
like
have like a cup, just a cup on my desk. I have this Princess Peach one.
but like see like that and so it didn't compute. I'm like, what do you what? And this conversation came up because we were at a gas station and they
Yeah.
had Hello Kitty Stanley cups. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then my sister in law was like, you know, those are fake, right? I'm like, what do you mean they're fake? She's like,
What
they're
do you mean?
fake. They're not real Stanleys. What do you mean they're
How?
not? And that's where like it just what like
What? Like,
they
how can you
fake
tell?
these? Why?
I mean, like, could you really even tell? Let's be honest.
Well,
Like,
I mean, I didn't
what
know
are
the
you
cup
looking
had a
for?
fucking name. Like,
I didn't even know. Like, yeah, and so funny, and so I asked her like, well, can you tell? Like, and she's like, well, because they don't make Hello Kitty ones. I'm like, okay, and I took the Hello Kitty one away, and I grabbed like a regular one. I'm
Yeah,
like, ignore the Hello Kitty one. How can you tell me this one is fake? Because it was apparently a fake stand. And she's like, oh, I don't know, but the giveaway is also the price. Stanley doesn't sell for that like a real one. This is fake. And I'm like, Okay, and so then I looked it up on Reddit. Like, how
Yeah,
can you tell a fucking fake from a
yeah.
real one? And funny enough, even the comments were like 50-50 on it. But here's the way I was able to tell. Apparently, look in the bottom of the cup, and on the legit Stanley, it will have the logo.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna say Stanley made in wherever the hell it's made
Yeah.
from, and it's gonna have like either like a serial number or something. Whereas the fakes, they ain't gonna have that shit. So
You
that's the
know,
giveaway. Look at the
yeah.
bottom.
But also with Pokemon, I think Pokemon is like this metric of like the state of of collectibles and collecting right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
Yeah.
can show my age because I remember being younger. What was the cool things to have, or what you were collecting were usually always shoes. Shoes were
Mm-hmm.
and like certain streetwear were like the things that like you wanted for like Christmas or going back to school. Like you didn't want to be seen wearing what was Walmart brand like Faded Glory or
Yeah.
shoes that you got from Walmart.
Yeah.
And now I can't. It's crazy to me how much it's changed because
Mm-hmm.
kids are getting excited over Stanley Cups. Starbucks cups is another one that I did not know was such a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where Starbucks cups and Stanley cups, like I've seen videos and reactions of this kid for Christmas. They unwrap and it's a white Stanley Cup, and they went fucking nuts. They went bonkers for it, and I'm like, is that's what's fire? That's what's hot these days. Like I
Hot
have a
and cold.
Stanley
I
Cup.
mean, it can do both.
Like I have a Stanley that my dad's had for
Mm-hmm.
like I swear to God since 1970 something. It's that
Yeah.
green
Like a
Stanley
thermos.
thermos. It's like it's
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
is that what's hot in the streets right now? And it just boggles my mind that that's what everybody is going for. I mean, shit, even backpack. I remember the JanSport backpack. You had to have a JanSport.
I remember the
Mm-hmm.
JanSport craze.
I remember those.
JanSports.
Yeah.
I never fell
I
into
had
it
one.
because
It
like
was
I did have one, but I always hated that backpack. Like it was probably like the
Mm-hmm.
worst backpack I had.
yeah. Didn't
Yeah,
have
they're
enough
not
pockets.
like they weren't effective.
No,
Yeah,
it didn't have
no.
enough pockets, and it was just so basic. It was so
Yeah,
basic to the point. It's like this is what like I would much rather have the Power Ranger
it doesn't
backpack than
even
have
have
this
like anything
blue
cool on
JanSport.
it. Like if I'm gonna have a
Yeah,
basic bitch backpack, at least give me one that's got Spider-Man on it, like that one over there.
and it's just that and it's part of collecting too. Like collecting, it bleeds into streetwear, where Supreme was a big thing for a while, and now one of the bigger clothing brands is Carhartt. Carhartt used to be one of those
Mm,
brands that the only people you'd see were country folk, blue collar
Yeah.
yeah,
people. Now
yeah,
Carhartt is like this thing that's on runways and stuff, which is crazy to me. Now Carhartt that
yeah,
used to be a lot cheaper is now really expensive for even a
yeah.
fucking Carhartt hat nowadays.
I
It's like
mean,
I've
Converse went through similar, where it was originally the
Yeah,
cheap
everyone wanted
shoe,
yeah, it
Chucks.
was a cheap
and then
shoe.
now they're yeah.
Yeah, now
So,
it's not that cheap anymore. Crocs were now
mhm.
have
Oh, Crocs
become
has shoes now,
expensive.
dog.
What, they have
Oh yeah,
shoes now?
Yeah, they
there
have
you
like
go.
regular normal ass shoes.
Damn,
I kind of
that's
want
blowing my mind. I didn't know.
them.
I haven't seen them. I'm gonna have to look them
Funny,
up later now. I didn't know Crocs
funny
had
enough,
shoes.
they have like office wear like shoes, and
What?
my wife bought some because she's a teacher, so she's standing up all day,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
giving the lecture. So she bought like these like slip on like shoes, and they look legit. You can't tell they're Crocs. And she's like, "These are my favorite shoes. They are so comfortable." And I'm like, "Hey, okay, Crocs, you're onto something here."
What? They
and
have shoes?
Yeah, TikTok keeps trying to sell them to me.
Mhm.
I'm not seeing them.
They keep trying to sell me that and the fucking milk frother. Like, I don't know
Oh, the milk
why.
frother.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know why
Things on
specifically the
opposite
milk frother.
spectrum,
Holy
but
crap! I'm looking at these shoes right now. Okay, I kind of
to-
want a pair. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, right. Like,
Well, look
yeah,
at
right, yeah,
okay.
and they're comfortable.
Yeah.
Um, I guess to go back to the collecting, do you think if they just like increased the chances of getting these like rarer cards would help alleviate like the scammer and scalper market?
I feel like it would, because now the price would come down to something reasonable now.
Mm-hmm.
It would finally come down to something that, like, okay, cool. Like maybe some of the older sets, like one of them, like Evolving Skies, for example. That one,
Mm-hmm.
those cards. There's some of those cards are super like that. That's where the Moonbreon, that expensive Moonbreon,
Mm-hmm.
comes from, and those EVs come from. So
Mm-hmm.
those probably wouldn't go down in price really at all, because they're not going to reprint that. I don't
Yeah.
foresee them reprinting it anytime soon. Maybe on an anniversary collection or something. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
no. But right now with these sets of today, yes, I feel like if they kind of flood the market a little bit, like print, like go nuts printing, and then your pull rates become better, then yeah, it might actually deter some of the scammers, and they might start buying other stuff. Or, and
Mm-hmm.
even right now, they're still buying other stuff, like the stuff that I'm chasing and that I'm looking for. Can't find that shit nowhere, dog. And now even
Yeah.
one of the I watched his video today. His name is Opossum, but I like to watching his takes. But
Mm-hmm.
one of the sets is called Shrouded Fables. Don't nobody like that set. Don't nobody like that fucking set. There's like maybe 3 or 4 cards out of this set. They're like, oh, those are kind of cool, and that's it. But now these people are starting to buy up as much as they can, because in their mind they're like, oh yeah, dude, this is a cool set. Everybody likes this. Like, don't nobody like this shit. Stop lying. You're just trying, because it's right now. It's the only thing you can find, and it's the only
uh,
thing that you're buying, and you're trying to make it into something, because in your mind you're like, oh yeah, man, this is,
I
again,
gotta make
they are
my
in
money
that
back.
investment
Yeah.
mindset. Yeah, they're
yeah.
in that
Mm-hmm.
investment mindset of like, I'm buying right now because this is like the only reasonably price set, because nobody wants it. Don't nobody care
Mm-hmm.
for it. Pull rates are shit. Twilight Masquerade pull rates are shit. Like all of these latest hits are all shit. All their pull rates are booty cheeks. So yeah, I think that's what Pokemon should do, is just like, dude, just start printing like mad dogs. Printing up all this shit and flooding the fucking market, and then finally the prices will start coming down again, to where like they're gonna have to get rid of their product. They bought into these prismatic evolutions, and they're selling these ETBs for $150, $200, and now it's like, okay, you flood the market with ETBs, they're forced to have to lower their prices, because now I can just go to
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Walmart and buy this fucking set for
Yeah.
regular $40 price or $50 price, whatever they're selling it at. I think that would probably be,
I
at least in my mind. Like, I'm not a business person. I don't own a business.
no,
That's what I
I
feel would work.
I agree. It would work to discourage some of the bad actors, because
Mm-hmm.
it's I've seen it like third handedly happen in Magic, where
Mm-hmm.
there's I mean there's a set of cards that they said they were never going to reprint, and
Mm-hmm.
technically they have reprinted them, but you can't actually play with those cards, so
Yeah.
they that's their little loophole around it. But
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but every time there's a set where a valuable reprint is in the set, right? Like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
we haven't seen a card. Maybe it won't be the exact same card. It'll probably have different
Mm-hmm.
art or whatever, but functionally, it does the same thing as the original card.
Mm-hmm.
The price of
Mm-hmm.
that original card goes down dramatically, like on
Yeah.
the resale
Mm-hmm.
market. The problem that sort of comes around with Magic in that case is that there is a very loud majority of people that are like, that's not fair, because like this card used to be worth like $200 and now it's only worth $10 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
um
Well, ni modo, dude.
Yeah. Ni modo, like.
Like,
the thing is that Magic is very reliant on the card shop
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
model. It's like the
Yeah.
direct. It's like comic shops.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
same way comics are very dependent on the niche specific store that sells comics, Magic is sort of reliant on the game store model. So while it's not a lot of people that complain when the price goes down, a lot of the people that are complaining are game shop owners that are like, I just bought
Mm-hmm.
like, three of these for $500 last week, and now I'm going to have to sell them at a, $400 loss or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Oh, that must fucking sting. Yeah, and man, I lost my train of thought. But also
The thing is,
Pokemon
Magic
Magic.
is very good at announcing when they're going to do a reprint.
Yeah.
So that is something that kind of alleviates it a little bit,
Yeah.
so that they know ahead of time, like, look, eventually this card's not going to be worth as much as it is
Dick.
now.
Yeah, it's
So
gonna be worth dick.
yeah,
The thing with like Pokemon and Magic though is Pokemon is one of those things that's never gonna go away. I feel like Pokemon is always gonna be around. So even if you get in for an investment, sooner or later it's probably gonna go back up. You know what I mean? It's up, it's got its ups and downs. Those sets will probably go back up. Like I said, I mean, take for example the first sets that came out in like what 96, 97, or whatever year it was. But those cards now are worth upwards of thousands of dollars. Shit, one of the guys that I'm friends with, he has unopened packs from that era. And I'm like, how have you not opened those? He's like, oh, I just want to hold on to them. I don't have that kind of willpower. I would have ripped those motherfuckers open right now.
Same.
I was like, but he's got packs that like one of those packs is worth $5,000. And you're not guaranteed anything. You're not guaranteed to get
It's
the
just
Charizard or the Blastoise or whatever out of it. And everybody, and again, it's everything you see on social media. These guys open up these packs and they get these really great hits, these big hits. Shit, they're even CT scanning the packs now to see if they've actually got any hits. There's a guy that went out and bought there's even like people, I found out that you can weigh the cards.
yeah,
Like if you weigh the card, like if it weighs this much, there's nothing in it. But if it weighs like if it's off by an ounce, like there's an ounce more or whatever it is, then there's something in that card. There's others that have these little
the drug dealer
like
scale,
huh
the
the,
little
the
drug
drug dealer
dealer
scale,
scale.
but also there's guys that have these little metal detector that they set it to test the sensitivity. They know there's something in that pack because they've already opened it and they just reseal it and then they test to see if there's anything in there. They set the sensitivity, and I've seen like they just go to stores and they just hold their little metal detector up to the pack and it's like there's nothing in there. I'm like, holy shit, you're making this way less fun.
Yeah.
Because now no wonder I'm not getting anything. You probably hit up my store before I fucking got here. But Pokemon is something that's gonna be, I think, is gonna be around forever. Like right now, there's a bunch of hype around it. Probably the hype is gonna be for the next 2 years. There's probably gonna be because they got two more really great sets that everybody's looking forward to, and then next year is the 30th anniversary. And then maybe after the 30th anniversary, it might drop. It might take a big dip because nobody's really that into it anymore. And then probably again about the 35 year anniversary, it might pick up again. But I don't think it's going to go anywhere. So if you're going to get into it for investment, you might want to think about doing the long term investment in it. But like again, I don't get into it for investment. For me, it's just like I like them. I like the artwork behind them. I pulled with my beginner's luck. I pulled some really expensive cards. I didn't even know what the fuck it was. I just happened to go to a trade night and they're looking through my binder like, "What the fuck is that?" I was like, "Oh, it's a Lugia card." He's like, "When did you get that?" I was like, "I got it yesterday." How? Like organically? I was like, "Yeah, I guess. I don't know what that means." He's like, "You pulled it." Yeah, I opened a pack and it was in the pack. How else do you get them? He's like, "You buy them, huh?" And that's like a fucking $200 card or something now, and it fluctuates every day.
Yeah, no.
Like, yeah, it fluctuates every day. If you're somebody that goes in there and checks, I don't. I'll check on the trade nights whenever they're asking me like, "Hey man, you willing to trade for this?" Or you willing like, "No, I don't want to give that up." Like, why not? Because I like it. I want it. If I had doubles, then yeah, but I know I'm never going to get a double of that. And even then, there's days when I'm like, you know what? I'm looking for a certain card. It's probably better if I just go to a card show and just buy the single card.
Yeah,
because the price of the single card is going to be cheaper than me going and buying 100 packs, 200 packs, and still not getting the fucking card.
That's that's
which I'm pretty
another
sure I've done
thing.
by now.
That's another thing that Tularian Community College, the professor Brian, I think is his legal name. I
Hmm.
don't know his last name. We're not friends. Uh, I just really enjoy his content. That's one of the things that he always closes off like almost every video with. He's like, if you are curious about this and you want to get into it, you don't have to go out and buy like these, $300, $150, booster boxes. You could just, if there's a specific card you want, buy the single. Just,
Yeah.
just buy singles. uh, and if you're trying to get into it, like there's a cheap way to do it. There's an entire format that they call Popper in
Hmm.
Magic the Gathering, where it's like all the cards are like less than $1. They're all
Mm.
commons, so it's like
Yeah.
you build your deck out of completely common cards that aren't worth jack diddly shit. Like
Hmm.
you can buy a deck of that for like, oh, $10 maybe at the most. I don't know.
Yeah, and even then, even like going, even buying singles has gotten kind of difficult
Yeah.
because it's hard
I
to
don't.
tell with fakes. At least in the Pokemon community, I'm not
There's
sure about
no.
Magic,
Yeah,
but
no.
like,
In Magic, there, since Magic has been around longer, and it kind of adopted the internet faster or a
hmm,
little bit better. Um, there's reputable like websites
yeah,
where you could go and buy singles. The one that constantly sponsors like a lot of the Magic content creators on YouTube is Card Kingdom.
hmm,
Hmm.
CardKingdom.com. They have some Pokemon stuff, but it's primarily a Magic the Gathering
yeah.
website.
And also like with the I haven't been to a card show yet. I know there's probably going to be one here in San Antonio soon, but I don't understand how some of these people aren't getting their ass beat because there's a lot of the dude. There's a lot of these content creators because I've been watching a lot of content of it lately. They just have their camera set up and it's just taping the whole card show, showing who they're talking to and what they're trading for, and sometimes they do these really cool trades, or they're they see like a kid that he's just barely starting off and they're like, you know what, man, I'm gonna go ahead and give you this card or that card, because yeah, they're negotiators, they're trading, and they have like multiples of certain cards. And I always click on the video because this guy steals card from my pack, not realizing he's on camera. And you're watching it, and it's like, holy shit, this dude's going through his set, and you can see him just kind of just swipe a card and just kind of stick it under his cards that he's trying to trade. Or what he'll do is he like pulls it out and he puts it within his cards, and the guy hasn't noticed, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm trying to sell this Blastoise." He's like, "Oh man, yeah, I got one of those." He's like, "Oh man, but this is still in good condition," not realizing he's buying his own card back.
Yeah.
And they're like father and son teams that are doing this. And I'm
Hmm.
like, yeah, you don't want to beat the son's ass, but like, do a true detective like Colin Farrell and go beat the kid's dad in front of him. like some of these guys are so blatant and bold that it's become so prominent that now I'm like, man, now I kind of understand why people want to gatekeep certain things sometimes. Because as big as this has gotten and how crazy it's gotten, it's all these people that are coming in that are just kind of in my opinion, are just kind of ruining the hobby a little bit.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't want to go do this or go do that because it's like, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking the next big thing is like, it's going to be One Piece. Maybe in the next couple of years, might start feeling those effects because I
Mm.
collect One Piece cards as well. I don't know shit about the One Piece cards at all, but I feel like that's going to be the next one where people are going to maybe start doing what
That
is happening with Pokemon. Maybe, I don't know. It's one of the more
maybe
popular ones.
it
I
is. 'Cause I know it's like number 3 in Japan.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
feel like that's just the inevitability of anything with the fandom, anything with
Hmm.
collectability. The inevitable outcome is it will eventually
Capitalism.
get out of hand. It's gonna get bombarded with scalpers and scammers and you name it, and that's just the unfortunate trajectory as these things go. And on that sorry note, this is where we will wrap things up. So,
Oh
you
damn.
alphas, let us know if you guys collect any Pokemon cards, Magic Gang cards, Train cards, and likewise let us know what you guys think the Pokemon Company should do to try to alleviate some of these issues. Either way, let us know in the comments, and we'll be sure to check them out next time. We're
Woo.
live, not pre-recorded. All right, but until then, we'll see you all on the next one.
Later.
Peace.
Peace.